Yeah, so this is where we were last time. Okay, so we got this whole full stack, just a quick recap. All right, so we start from our own description and then we do generate that project requirement document, which is more formal. And I explained that we started using Node.js as the front and back end language because we can use one language to do both. MongoDB is more flexible. You don't have to worry about a schema. And Vercel is also easier to try. Okay, so we got a first version showing up here. And then if you remember, we're not very happy about the theme. Still now, I still don't feel this is quite right in terms of especially a landing page, right? So a landing page service company like this, you should have some very, again, like a very clear, big, section, big tags, and this is still not quite right. Okay, so I still want to do a couple more iterations to see what they can improve. Okay, but obviously for the previous changes, it was not that effective. Okay, so let's go back and here and try it again. Okay, I am still not satisfied with the current landing page. The font type isn't professional. There are too much text. Um, we need a very trending, super clean and simple landing page that highlights the core features, um, highlights our product, okay? Just like Shopify landing page right here, okay? Please ignore a lot of the details in the current page. Use stock images as much as you can instead of because we saw that they generate a lot of this type of images. Okay, so that's not what we are looking for. The generated uh, graphical elements. Please come up with a brand new design to impress the investors. Okay, let's just see. Just give more aggressive feedback and let AI to make more changes. All right, so it looks like they delete the old one. Okay, so they are adding a completely new design. Okay, let's see if that can give us some better ideas. All right, so they are adding more image right now. Yeah, look, hopefully that's moving to the new direction. Okay. Uh, All right, they rebuild it. Let's see. We refresh. Okay. All right. So a little bit better. Okay, a little bit better with more images. At least it shows, better than the previous ones. Okay. Because the previous one had too much text. Somehow they still stay with this kind of font type. That's not quite right. And which is also fine if they keep it all consistent. All right. And then one thing I feel weird is that this is like a little container in the whole page, right? They have this dark background. That's not quite right. Okay. So let's keep working. Okay. The images are nice, but I don't like the idea of having a white um content page inside a black background. We should just use the white area as the landing page. And now I see the issue is a lot of these things are too compact. Okay, so we should kind of make it more spread out and don't put all the content in a compact way. We need to spread them out with reasonable margins and paddings, taking the space of the whole page. This landing page is only for marketing purpose. It's different, okay, from the admin dashboard. Any kind of thought you have, okay, let's just provide it. The good feedback, the negative feedback, always send it back. Okay, see if they can do a better job. All right, so they made it very quick. Okay, so yeah, a little bit better. Okay, by blending this one and just using the whole white, at least looks a little bit better than before, which was very compact. Okay, and they do have some of this highlight things like this and the font type. Okay, let me just make this change on the font type. Okay, so this font type still doesn't look quite right for me. And what will be some of the popular? Let's just ask. Okay, so let's change a totally different font type. Um, I really don't like the current one. Please use something similar to Google Open AI font type styles. All right, they're changing the type. Let's see if that takes effect. All right. Yeah, at least this, I think it's a little bit more appropriate than the previous one. Okay, it doesn't look like a admin. However, if you see a lot of these kind of attacks, multiple lines, um, stay together, that is definitely not appropriate. Okay, so, but from this example, you can see a lot of cases, this AI could get you into a position that you gotta go really multiple iterations. Okay, some of those work better, some of those not. So that's why it takes a lot of experiences. Okay, just keep giving the feedback from both positive and also negative ways. Okay, so I'm gonna stop for here. Okay, so overall, this is much better than the one we saw previously. Okay, at least more cleaning, but I still feel that this one can be more like a spread out, maybe more centralized, bigger font type and margins. But we can come back to fix it. Okay. So that one. And then now let's actually go to the admin demo. So this part here also, we're not going to worry too much about UI. So what I want to do right now is that we have this whole like front and back end build, but then they're using the in-memory database. We have not actually connected the real database from MongoDB to here. All right. So in order to do that, I think a very first thing we need to do is to implement kind of a user system with login and sign up. Okay. So we're gonna keep working on this project by bringing the login and sign up page. All right. Uh, so right now they're just more showing a kind of a demo page. That's um, very hard for us to test it. Okay, so we just need to use something very real. Okay, so now let's stay um, with this theme and also apply the theme to the admin side instead of using the view admin demo page. We want to start implementing the features with real database support. I already have a MongoDB Cloud database set up. Here is the URL. I think we provided that connection string here last time. Please use MongoDB as the real database and start the integration with the login and sign up feature first. Okay, so that actually includes a bunch of changes. Okay, we want to apply the same theme to the admin. We told them about MongoDB, and then just start something very specific from login. All right, so that's actually multiple tasks. Okay, they start a MongoDB configuration, and they implement some of this sessions, security features, and sign up pages, login pages, logout pages, and also the entry flow. Okay, once you log in, where do you go? All right, so All right, looks like they done most of the things. They're doing a final check. All right, they rerun the server because they added all the Mongo stuff. And they're trying to even like sign up a test account and see if the login works. Oh, it has approval. All right, now it looks like it's done. As always, always read that summary, okay? Just make sure if there nothing that you need to do. Right now, they just told you they implement the first MongoDB integration with all the authentication stuff, files edited, everything, and environment. This they put all the credentials there, validation they did, and this is how we're gonna test it. Okay, so yeah, so nothing else we need to configure. Actually, let's actually go ahead and try it. So we go back to our home page, refresh. Okay. So as you can see, some of this thing got changed, and previously was the view, the demo site. Right now you can get started or you can log in. I'm gonna get started. And here you're gonna create your organization. Let's just go ahead and try it. So I'll do a Cal Poly, CS, Cal Poly. Okay. So I'll put my name, I give a password. All right. So it looks like that actually created. I'll save it here. And that's the current like admin page. The styles has been changed, and that's the name. Competition zero, submissions, user status, some of the quick actions, and real database integration. And yeah, so this is just showing some kind of a debug information. I don't think we need that. Okay, so that's the admin side. Okay, so let's go to MongoDB just to make sure everything has been connected and saved here. All right, so that was the database we created. And let's browse the collections. All right, so it looks like they got that database Compete OS, and they have organizations, and we can find, yeah, the Piper model. That's the one we just created. So it looks like everything was set. Okay. It was just one problem. It took a little bit time, but they did quite a lot of work. Okay. So at this point, if you go back to think about this, we got a front end, back end, we got a database. And before you start to implement more features, let's just push everything and save. Okay. This is something very important as you do the Gen AI vibe coding. Always, if you have one version working, you're happy with, save it. Push the GitHub as early as you can. Okay. So I go find out that repository. So this is the one I created. Okay. So I'm going to copy this one. And using Gen AI, you don't have to worry about all the GitHub command anymore, just to say that push all the current version to GitHub. And you have to provide that repository link, and they will run the command for you. So you don't have to worry about all the Git command anymore. All right, so they are running all the regular git command. And now they do push. All right, so this is finished. So refresh. All right, all the code are here. All right, so they even wrote a README file. That's actually pretty good. Okay, so as I mentioned, always remember to push things. Okay, in this case, you just say push to the repository, to push to GitHub. They will do that for you. And then once you have here, let's also try to deploy that version because the version I have so far was only local. Okay, using localhost. And then we need to find a server to also integrate like automatic deployment. We call it continuous integration. Instead of using EC2 this time, I'm going to introduce Vercel. Okay, I mentioned this multiple times. All right, so this is actually a really nice and easy service for you to try some of the project like this for web application projects. So what you do is that once you sign up, you go here. Okay, so you can just deploy your first project, and then we're gonna here click on import a project. If you click on import, okay, so they will connect to your GitHub account. Okay, so and then you need to find out your GitHub account and find out that specific project for you. Okay, so in this case, my project was called a competition manager. Okay, this one is called a competition. All right, if we don't find it, and we need to just connect it again with this. All right. And yeah, this is where you can enable what Vercel can see. And I'm going to find out that competition repository. I'll save it here. All right. So once I save it, I have the project here and I can just simply import it. And then once we import it, I think we don't need to configure everything. They can figure out this is the Next.js project. And I will just do deploy. All right. So by clicking on the deploy, they automatically copy the code into Vercel server and they start automatically running. Okay. However, for the first time, there will probably be some issues and things you're missing. You can actually see all the logs, how they're running it, how they're building everything. Just in case you see some errors, you can also find it. All right. Looks like to compile everything is correct. All right, so looks like they actually did finish the deployment. Let's give a shot. So now you go back to the project, you can see this project here has been deployed, and they actually give you a domain name right here, competition-manager-sas.vercel.app. And then you can obviously configure and change a different URL. So let's actually click on this one. Okay, so this time this is public. Okay, so this is already deployed. Just by comparing this process with the whole EC2 approach I showed you last week, this is probably 100 times easier. Okay, just connect your GitHub, they will automatically deploy this for you. But one thing you got to verify the database. So for example, we come here and let's actually try to log in. Okay, and I think that's what my email. Since we're using the same database, we should be able to log in. And yeah, so as you can see here, there's something wrong. Okay, so they don't find that MongoDB URI. So basically credentials. So whenever you do this kind of deploy, you gotta be careful. Okay, locally, you have this thing running. Okay, for example, let me test it locally first. Okay, so I come here. Okay, so I go to my page, I do login, and I do my credentials. It should work here. As you can see, everything's fine. Locally, it's all configured. But what happened is that if you read that prompt here carefully, so they put the file related with the MongoDB on a local hidden file. So they did not push that to GitHub. Okay, so the GitHub don't have any information about the database. So what they want you to do is that they want you to set those database URLs in the deployment environment so that they can just load it there. It's just more secure. So what you can do here is ask, okay, so I just deployed the app in Vercel, but when I tried to log in, it says missing. I'll bring that up. Yeah, said this. Sometimes if you don't know what's going on, just describe that issue. Okay, how to fix it. And then they probably will tell you, okay, so this URL, which is an environment variable, is not set, and then you should do certain things to set it. Okay, so fix it in Vercel, go to the settings, environment variable, and add these two things. Okay, so let's try that. So what they're asking is go to Vercel, go to settings, and settings. They just changed the kind of oh, right here, deployment settings, and you need to configure environment variables. Okay, let me go back again. Yeah, they changed a lot of this UI now. This is deployment. Oh, right here. So environment variables in the add those. Okay, so there are two things they're asking. So one is called MongoDB URI, and the value is the same thing as I put here. So this is a kind of a connection string. Whenever you do the database, okay, you need to put it. And there's another one, they said it's the MongoDB name, which is the compute OS. All right, so these are two, and we're gonna save them. All right, once we save, we redeploy that. All right, let's try that again. Here, redeploy. Click on redeploy. All right. Anytime when you do a deployment, you can actually see that in the yeah, the logs right here. And you can always see what's going on. And you can also see all the history of all the deployment. So from now on, whenever you deploy something new, they will automatically trigger the deployment and update that in the server. All right, so it looks like it's finished. We'll go back to our site. Here, let's refresh. Try to log in this again. And password. Try to log in. All right, so that works this time. Okay, so that means database is all connected. All right. So it's a very simple process, but once again, if you never work on the full stack, you don't even know the database, you don't know the difference between the cloud environment and local environment, this may take longer to figure it out. Okay, that's why that first project example I showed you was very important. Okay, to understand the difference between the in-memory database and the cloud database, and also different deployment environments. Okay, now this version is synchronized with our local version. Okay, so you got this whole like a development environment set it up. Okay, from now on, whenever we add a new feature, we need to push it, and then we can see that in the cloud. Let's try that. Okay, so as you work on a new feature, always you work on that locally first. Okay, so let's actually start from the admin side. I'm gonna start from the admin, and this part is very weird. Okay, so I think this is not really needed. Okay, so and I'm gonna give some feedback. Okay, so okay now the deployment is successful. I am going to add more features. We will start with the admin role and dashboard first. Okay. Please remove this section in the admin page. Okay, just give as detailed things as you can. Okay. And then just put any kind of comments thought you have, and they will eventually summarize those into different tasks. Okay. All right. And then from here, and then please enable adding and manage competitions in the admins page. All right. Oh, that's the first kind of a data we should start to handle. Okay. So now they start to make more changes. From now on, all you need to do is give feedback, wait for the code to be generated, and then very importantly, go to test it. All right, so they're creating the competition data model, and then they're adding the APIs to manage the creation, update, delete, and read all these APIs. And then they add the UI, and finally they check. All right, looks like everything's done. And just to double check if there are any actions we need to do. So far looks good. They even tested. So let's actually go ahead to refresh the page. All right, so as you can see, now the admin page has something a little bit different. You can create a competition, okay? And here, you can manage it. The whole UI somehow, generated by this Codex, honestly, isn't very good. Okay, so this is not a very professional admin panel, but we can improve that later. Okay, so let's just go ahead and try this. We're gonna call it like Game Gala 2026. The text here isn't good. Okay, the biggest game-based project competition in California. All right, registration deadline, give some date, submission deadline, and judging deadline. All right, let's create. All right, so there's something wrong. As we create cannot read property of null reading reset. Okay, and then here it said created. So again, something's wrong. All right, so whenever you see that, let's just get error messages when test creating a new competition. uh, it says this after I click the create competition button, just to describe the error, the bug. Although it also says create below it. So obviously that's just something wrong. Okay, just show what do you see, show the error, and then you don't need to worry about how do we debug. Oh, is it because some of the value missing or anything? Describe the situation, describe the error. Okay, so the AI can actually go there to do the check. Okay. All right. So they said they fixed it because the competition was created successfully, but there was something wrong with this reset, wait, and um now they think they said they fixed it. Let's actually refresh and try this again. All right. So we do see that competition shows up here. Okay. So in the list. All right. And let's try this again. We'll call this one science fair. All right. And for science projects, some of the deadlines. All right. Create. All right. So this time it fixed it. Okay. Now we can see that one showed up here. All right, so the competition creation is successful. Honestly, I really want to improve that UI one more time. Okay, so let's redesign the whole admin UI with the more popular approach using a sidebar navigation menu. Um, yeah, please. There's admin roadmap, all of this. This is not also good. Let's just remove that section. Okay. We remove this section and also remove any like dev related terms such as like MongoDB. This is obviously not needed in the UI. Okay. So the functionality it was generally really good, but the whole UI is a little bit disappointing. But we should be able to get there. For the UI things, if you see that early, try to change that early because it will help to keep the whole like style more consistent. All right, they finish the change. All right, so yeah, they do have this kind of sidebar overview competition here, and you have a create competition, manage competition. Oh man, that's not very good. So uh, they put all the menus here for this different sections. That's obviously not needed. Okay, so but once again, we can just give more um, feedback. Okay, so create a competition should be a triggered with a button uh, and a dialog. Okay, so you shouldn't actually already show that. And we don't need specific menu options for each section in a page. For instance, the whole competition management just needs one menu option only called competitions. Okay. All right, so they made that change. All right, so they did all the modification. So now it should be better. So click on competitions, and then you have total of two, and then you create a competition. Do one more. We'll go this as an AI challenge and provide some date. Create. All right, and then that shows up. Okay. All right. Oh, that's actually there's the face we can't actually see. All right, so the face drop down text is not readable with the wrong color, text color. Also, I saw another bug that on the left, okay, so the menu option on the left does not change the highlighted option, even if I click on it. All right, so they fixed the color, and now you can go here and overview. All right. Okay. So that means that the overview shouldn't have all the competitions. Okay, so for overview, we should not list all the, or just this section, should not list this section. For competitions, please show only the competition related stats. All right. So your role really now is a product manager that tests and see all this little detailed feedback you want to provide. All right, so they made some changes. The overview shows the system overview, stats, and then the competitions only has a competition related stuff. All right, so it's definitely getting a lot more reasonable. Okay. Okay, so if we're happy about this version, okay, so we could then, push and deploy. Remember, right now this is local version, and for the deploy version is still the old thing, right? So it's not really changed yet. But now all we need to do is now push all the changes to GitHub. All right, so it will automatically also trigger the deployment. They write a commit message. All right, they push. Now, once they push, you can see this deployment has been triggered automatically because they got a message from GitHub. All right, so that one is finished. I'll go back here, refresh. Yep. So now the production is the same as ours. Okay. So I don't know if this one can be changed. We haven't really tested this yet. Okay, looks like this is, oh, okay. So it looks like you can change this. Let's refresh. Yep. So that status can be changed. And um, yeah, so it actually looks good. All right. The whole UI still, I think there's still a lot of things to improve. Okay, but now you can start to see that things are being put together, it's connected, and now from now on, all you need to do is keep adding more features, datas, um, but still that require a lot of tests and verifications. Okay, so that's going to be more the role for the managers, for whoever is using this one. Clearly the bar to coding this one is getting so low. Okay, but you can still see there's still some technical things you need to know. Um, but when I'm using this one compared with a year ago, it's already been changed a lot. The first year you still need to look at a lot of technical things. Now, as you can see, the reason I use the codex is I don't want to even look at the code. You don't have to. Okay, just describe the issues. Okay. We're gonna keep working more on this feature more. Okay, so again, just think of, you got to think very carefully from a user point of view. What do you want to do? Okay, I need to create a competitions. Okay, every competition I can open it. The competition can see all the signups and then submissions and the judges, right? So I need a kind of a competition detail page. Okay, so now I need a competition details page to show all the competition, related information. So each competition should have a public link for students to go and sign up. When student sign up, they and the students can register, can submit projects. There should also be a link for judges to sign up, and then we can track students, projects, judges in the competition details page. Okay, as you can tell, this is actually a very big change with a lot more data there. Okay, so they're probably going to start implement all the relationship. Okay. Right, so they made a bunch of changes and obviously they should add a lot of new pages. Okay, so we're gonna start testing all of this. All right, so let's refresh. Okay, go to competitions. And we go to the competitions. Let's see how we're oh, create a title. Okay, the title you can open it. Okay, so I'm gonna click on AI challenge. Oops, so the page is now there. Try this one here. All right. So when I click on the existing competitions, it shows the page doesn't exist, for instance. My guess is that this is related with the old competition because when we created those, maybe they don't have any records there, right? So because the database wasn't there. So let's see if they can fix it. Otherwise, we'll just recreate new ones. All right, let's try this again, and then we're gonna refresh and then click on this. Okay, now this one works. Very good. All right, so um, they have a detailed page. All right, and from here we are gonna share that link. This link isn't quite right. It should have the full link. Okay, and from here you can see all the list of students and also the judges and also the submitted project. Okay, so let's actually take a look. Let's start from the simple ones. Okay, let's start from the students. Okay, so here's the link, and all right. So for public links, we have a button to copy the full URL. Also, the display uh, link there does not have the like a host prefix. All right, they need to fix that. Right, so they made the change. All right, so now they fix the whole URL, the link. But once again, the UI I can't comment it. Okay, it's just not very attractive. But we're gonna just as long as the function is fine, that's acceptable. We'll copy the link, and then to test it, maybe it's better to open a new browser. Okay, so this is the competition challenge, and then the name. We're gonna try this one, and the school's name. Sign up. All right, and then you need to provide a title. We'll call it like a chatbot one, test bot URL, and we just submit. All right, so something's wrong. I think we saw some similar issues. Okay, so we're gonna put in the message here. So just write down the issue when testing a student sign up and project submission. There, it says after clicking on the submit project button. Yeah, I think we saw a lot of similar issues before. But it looks like the project are submitted. So if we go back here, let's just refresh. Yeah, you can actually already see the students and the project showing up. So, and you can open the project. Okay, this is not working yet. Okay, so. All right, so it looks like that's the same error. Okay, they were trying to fix. Okay, so let's go with I'm gonna retry this, okay? Sign up, and this is like a game, test game, submit. All right, so the project was submitted. Okay. So looks like the flow is there. Okay, we got everything here, but then the sign up process isn't quite right. Okay, so for sign up for student or judge sign up, they are supposed to sign up an account first if they don't have an account yet, or log in with an existing account. All right. The student should also have a simple admin page so that they don't have to submit the project right away. They can choose the competition and submit before the deadline in the admin page. Something like this. Okay, just change the workflow a little bit. Yeah, From what I found, that coding like this honestly has a lot more fun than before. I don't know how you feel about it. Okay, but definitely try it. Once you get used to it, it's almost impossible to go back to the traditional approaches. It's almost like you learn Python and it's a lot easier to write and use, and you don't want to go back to C++. plus plus. Okay. So it's that kind of feeling. Yeah. Previously we were also very concerned, oh, if you never learn those languages, that's not gonna scale. Okay. At one point you may still need to go there to debug. It was true a couple years ago, but now I don't feel that's the case. Like in Node.js, I know nothing about it. Okay. I know it's a type of JavaScript, but literally just nothing. I don't bother to go to learn the tutorial. I work on some different project from scratch. It's never going to be a problem. Okay, so that's why for me, I'm pushing very hard on everyone to try this because clearly this is only getting better. Okay, so but you can see as working with this one still take some time, iterations and feedback. All right, well, they got a lot of things going, and let's just test this again. All right, so that's a competition. I'm gonna bring a new competition to try those. Okay, so I'll try the science fair. Okay, student login, and let's just try a new page. All right, so you gotta sign up first. Okay, let's just sign up. All right, so that's signed up. The student page, my competitions. All right, so you got a one here and the submission deadline, and then here you can submit the project. Okay. Yeah, and you can see the functions are there, but this is not really following the admin style we're hoping. So then you need to start a push, get more feedback. Okay. But before that, looks like this flow here is good. Okay, so I'm gonna just push everything. Okay, push all the changes to GitHub. Don't forget about this. Okay, so every once in a while, save the status. Because at one point, if you're not lucky, you may hit something that after all many iterations still not, um, you know, fixed, and sometimes they even mess up your code, even though the chance of that is getting smaller and smaller. All right, and from here, we'll keep working. Okay. So anyway, guys, I would assume that we'll need at least two more lessons like this to finish it. This is a fairly complicated project. Okay, there will be a lot more details in terms of data field you want to change. But yeah, I'll try to show you this as well next week. But meanwhile, I think once you're done with the second assignment, just start to work on a final project like this. Okay. All right. Sounds good, guys.